Automation generally implies the integration of machines into a self-governing system. So this self-governing system talks about an arrangement that's able to perform operations without human intervention. So if you ever use any of these, chances are the development processes involved in producing them have been automated. Automation doesn't necessarily have to be the complex methods we employ to achieve a particular task. In fact, among the earliest forms of automation were the use of relatively simple but effective tools like sinkers, which were used for anchoring nets to the stream, as opposed to oneself manually diving to anchor the nets themselves. Also, the use of water wheels, which automated water collection efforts, whereby the wheel collects water from the well with the help of the oxen, and then channeled through a path for irrigation of the crops, as opposed to manually irrigating them by hand, or in the Renaissance period where the use of a movable printing press was effective in publishing old literature instead of writing it by hand. Before the complex ones came along, that the invention of the power loom, which greatly reduced the labor needed to manufacture complex textiles, and Henry Ford's automated assembly line. The list goes on and on. A number of significant developments in various fields have occurred during the 20th century, like the digital computer, advances in sensor technology, improvement in data storage technology, and software to write computer programs. All these developments have contributed to the progress in automation technology. Today, most concerns with automation stem from the harsh reality that people will lose their jobs and therefore will be left with no job. Well, automation reduces the need for repetitive tasks and freeing up time for other tasks. Take for instance, the traffic warden who played a vital role in reducing traffic and congestion has been replaced with traffic lights. These days, most of us can't even read a traditional analog map, but it has been upended with a computerized version like Google Maps. Also, take for instance the washing machine that we all take for granted now. If it weren't available, precious time would be wasted doing laundry. Again, there are other countless examples, but all these free up time for other meaningful activities. In essence, the type of task or job that will be automated have certain qualities. Firstly, if they are routine and repetitive like the traffic warden and the washing example I just talked about, or if they can be captured in a decision-making tree or flow diagram so that the range of decisions that have to be made is finite, like the maps example whereby you search for a place you would like to go to, the GPS in your phone identifies your location and decides on the optimal path, taking into account traffic and the shortest distance that will lead you to your destination. These qualities are not limited to the examples I outlined earlier. Looking all around life, I think other examples will be evident. Some people argue that the type of jobs that will be safe from automation are jobs that require manual dexterity and manipulation. In layman's terms, it just means jobs that have to do with the hands, like shoemaking, sewing, and whatnot. The reason being that these types of jobs wouldn't be automated because of the difficulty in replicating the hands of a human. But I beg to differ because currently some companies like Clone, Tesla, Engineering Arts, Boston Dynamics, and so on are trying to tackle this challenge with their different implementations of a functioning human-like arm or a full humanoid robot. Also, another argument on the type of jobs that will be spared from automation are jobs that require human talent and creativity like sports, art, entertainment, and so on. This argument is also championed by the exponential advances made in the domain of artificial intelligence and machine learning. I'll come back to this argument later in the video. So automation has two distinct categories: partially automated and fully automated. As you can tell, the former requires little external intervention while the latter requires no intervention at all. If a job is completely automated, then automation necessarily reduces employment. Like, take for example, the elevator man used to be a thing, but now no more. Heck, I'm not even sure people know a job like that existed. But if a job is only partially automated, employment might actually increase. Just remember I use the word might. The reason has to do with basic economics. For example, during the 19th century, 98% of the labor required to weave a yard of clothes was automated, yet the number of weaving jobs actually increased. Automation drove the price of the cloth down, increasing the highly elastic demand. Okay, what elastic demand means is when a customer is willing to buy more of a product if the company actually reduces the price of the product. This will in turn yield net job growth despite 98% being lost to automation. Of course, partial automation can also decrease employment in an occupation. That's if demand is inelastic. That means if a company doesn't reduce the price of its product, then customers wouldn't be inclined to buy. Then growth in demand will not offset job losses. But the elastic demand couldn't save jobs as technology continued to progress over time. So if the partially automated jobs weren't saved, Then what can one do to counter job losses in the future? Some have pointed out reskilling. Well, you may be wondering, what does reskilling actually mean? Okay, reskilling implies replacing an already acquired skill for another skill. Like you often hear someone switch from an accounting profession to a software developer profession, or from a profession in business management to a professional graphics designer role because apparently the roles seem to be creative and intuitive. And the general idea is that having a creative and intuitive job like the software developer role or the graphics designer role would future-proof you in the unlikely event of job automation. But you see, that's not the case because those career paths that were presumed to be creative and as a result future-proof are in fact being done by advanced computational techniques in machine learning and artificial intelligence today. Alright, I think I'm kidding. Take the case of OpenAI's Codex, a software that can write codes to complete a particular task in multiple programming languages if need be, and it's also more effective than a human in doing so. So you can't convince me software devs are immune to. Okay, another example is the graphics designer I just talked about. The same company OpenAI created a software using machine learning and artificial intelligence techniques that can create sophisticated graphics from just text prompts only. And this is just one of many companies working on this. So if reskilling doesn't actually work, then how might we just survive in the future? Some arguments just exhaust their options and flatly say there will be new jobs in the future. And I would naively agree with this because some jobs like social media influencing or crypto trading weren't in existence 2 decades back, but that doesn't mean the same pattern is bound to happen again. Believe it or not, automation is advancing quickly. According to the University of Cambridge, about 47% of tasks will be automated in 20 years, and the COVID-19 pandemic was a precursor to that advancement. If reskilling couldn't work, and then we accepted the fact that jobs were going to be automated in the future, then how then do we survive? Well, it's a wild guess from me, but the idea of jobs as an economic driver should be reformed by governments, and the idea of universal basic income should be considered as a viable alternative. Universal basic income isn't new, but has been talked about by some notable names like Ray Kurzweil, a pioneering inventor and a futurist, Elon Musk among others, but was first proposed by Peter Hofer. The idea basically means that all citizens of a given population regularly receive a legally stipulated and equally set financial grant paid by the government without a means test. So that's like getting money for no work done. It's been tried and tested among some unemployed individuals in Finland. Roughly 2,000 in number were paid 560 euros every month. This wasn't able to sustain them for the month, but it helped them with grocery shopping and some bill payments. The major issue that the universal basic income experimenters faced was funding, but you can look at it this way: when almost every task or job is automated, there wouldn't be any shortage of labor, hence no shortage of funding in my opinion, or don't you think? You can let me know in the comment section down below, cause essentially the economy is labor per se. You see, not everything is bad about automation like most would paint it to be. It would free up time for more important things in life, it would improve the standard of living, it would make products and services cheaper and more accessible, it may reduce the number of work hours in a week. If I'm being honest and transparent, I personally think we shouldn't fear automation, but embrace it, because we are approaching a time when machines will be able to outperform humans at almost any task, and frankly speaking, there is nothing we can do about it. Like, what do you think? Should the concept of work continually exist, or we are better off without it? Just let me know in the comment section below. I'm your host Golden, and thank you again for watching this video. Cheers!